You know, it never ends well when you leave right at 5. You know, I have to leave at 5 on Tuesdays. Story short, usually I leave a few minutes before. You get on the bus and go home, and it never ends well. It never ends well. And especially this year because they're doing construction on the 405 freeway in both directions. I don't think anybody commutes fewer miles and takes longer to do it. Sometimes I have days where I just go 40 minutes and I travel 3 miles. I travel 3 miles to get home every day. And I travel the same 3 miles to get over to work. Getting to work is great. When I get to work, it only takes minutes. 20 minutes, 15 minutes if I'm lucky, but never more than 25. But getting home is ridiculous. It's like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and today the bus left at 5:08. I got in. It was 5:53. 5:53. And everybody started boarding the bus when we started to hit Westwood Boulevard. You know, it's not enough, is it? People just start boarding the bus, and it's like 50 people on the bus going home. They just can't help it. It has to be that one. You can't wait 10 minutes for another bus. You can't wait for another bus. You can't take an alternate route home. It has to be that bus. And it's always like you stop, and they want to stop on every single street. And then, don't you hate it when this one little girl or one guy or somebody always comes at the very end as the bus is about to leave, and then they stop the bus, and they're like, "Wait a minute, me too." So then we have to wait for this person to get on the bus, and they throw out all the pocket change, like 4 quarters. Really chap my hide. This happens at least once a week. And the commute can be very trying sometimes, despite the fact that it's not very hard. It's a very simple commute. Go down one street, turn, go down another street. It's not hard. But there's 15 stops, one every other block. And people just have a reason to stop the bus on every one. And if it isn't that, it's people just taking their time crossing the street. And if it isn't that, it's always something different. Like you're on your way, you're in the home stretch, you're going to get home, and 5 senior citizens decide to board the bus. And I have nothing against senior citizens, nothing against it, but 5? What are you doing at 5 o'clock boarding a bus? Except to get to Bridge Club. I understand that, and again, I don't have any animosity towards elderly people. But 5 people, one person with like 3 bags worth of about a week's worth of material to live in a house. And then how about and it didn't happen today, but it happens sometimes, the dreaded wheelchair. You know what I'm talking about. You're trying to ride a bus, trying to get just a reasonable commute, and you get the dreaded wheelchair. And they gotta roll up the ramp, and it rolls up at 3 millimeters a second. Beep, 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 beep. And the ramp comes down. And, most of the time, the wheelchair probably goes almost as slow as the ramp. Because they think they're styling it with those little hover rounds or those electric wheelchairs, and it goes and they don't quite go in the right way all the time. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. They go after about 2 minutes, they finally get on the bus, and then the bus driver has to get out of the seat and take up 2 seats so people get forced out of the seat. And then they have to put on 5 belts on the wheelchair so that they can get into the side. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's fine. But it's just unfortunate timing. Yeah, you gotta strap this on, you gotta strap this wheel on, you gotta strap that on, you gotta strap the bottom, the top, the sides, and the middle. And then finally you're done. And it gets to take off. And then somebody calls for a stop. Ugh. So between all of that, it probably can take upwards of 50 minutes to travel 3 miles. I mean, that's just terrible. And you've got like 2 lanes on a 3-lane street on Santa Monica Boulevard dedicated to getting on to the 405 freeway. And it's always clogged or backed up, and it doesn't push out of the way. Like, pardon me, it doesn't have dedicated lanes to it. It doesn't have ramps or anything. It's just like the same 2 lanes. So you really reduce to 1 lane. And if you want to make a stop, of course, they put a stop right next to where the 405 freeway enters. Well, that's brilliant. That's just absolutely brilliant. You couldn't put it underneath the underpass or maybe a block before. 1 block. It has to be right there where all the people are getting onto the freeway. So you have to negotiate the traffic. That doesn't move. It moves like an inch every 10 seconds if you're lucky. And then you the bus is so fortunate to make it into the pocket. And maybe one guy gets on and a couple guys get off, and then you gotta go through it all over again just to get into the middle lane. You gotta wait out a signal just to do it. Oh, this bus can kill me sometimes. It kills me.